For the first time ever, two Irish fighters will be contesting for a world title, as Belfast's Lewis Crocker takes on Limerick's Paddy Donovan, as they will battle out for the IBF Welterweight Title in this rematch, while it will also take place in Windsor Park, giving the rivalry the stage it deserves. The first meeting had everything: skill, drama, controversy, and ultimately a disqualification that left fans with more questions than answers. Today's tactical overview, I want to take a look at what each fighter did well in the first fight, where they slipped up, and how they can adjust going into the rematch. Because make no mistakes, both men had moments of success, but both showed vulnerabilities that can be exploited this time around. So on that note, let's get right into it. Let's start off with Donovan, and from the opening round, he looked like the man with the clearer game plan in my opinion. Especially with his southpaw lead hand constantly at work, probing and framing and tapping at Crocker's guard to disrupt his vision and balance. And this was a pattern that defined much of his early success, and the majority of the fight, as he would continuously pivot off to his right, forcing Crocker to reset and turn with him, stopping him from planting his feet for his power shots. Even when Crocker tried to push forward with his high guard, Donovan's movement and constant touching meant he rarely got the clean platform he wanted. Furthermore, the lead hand work also gave Donovan avenues to attack, making sure to target the body and going around the guard.
And I don't know if I completely agree with him there. For Crocker, how an overall load up coming from either man.
Nice right hand to the body there from Donovan.
That's again though from Crocker.
While I also liked how Donovan would peel down Crocker's gloves, open a lane for the left hook. Clever adjustment that repeatedly broke through the high guard.
And I think it's going to make it much harder. I think he's done a good job so far avoiding a cut of that magnitude.
While his check hooks were sharp too, especially when Crocker tried to throw the overhand left, as Donovan pivoted out and timed him with a huge right hook.
With the use of the head. Tremendous right hook from Donovan.
Defensively though, Donovan was also slippery. He's got great elusive waist movement, but was also using the shoulder roll to deflect the overhand left. While he also had another trick up his sleeve, entering with the left uppercut when Crocker would square up and commit with the right hand or the left overhand.
This is starting to really push the target at times. Left hand and made to miss.
And that southpaw left uppercut was the money punch throughout, as Crocker would lean forward due to his style, and would leave himself very exposed when throwing his bigger power shots, making it the perfect punch for him to counter it with. I also think due to Donovan's great head movement and elusive waist movement, it also made Crocker's head hunting look pretty one-dimensional. The constant flicking of the jab and touching with it blinded Crocker and helped set up his combinations behind it. And even in round 6 when he got the points deducted, Paddy still took command of the fight, forcing Crocker onto the backhand, landing crisp flurries and swelling that left hand badly. However, this could have been caused by the elbow he pushed out.
Oh yeah, that's a shot.
Nevertheless, there was issues with Donovan. He stayed in the pocket for far too long and maybe was a little bit too predictable with his movement out to his right. At times, Crocker was able to push him off and time him with his own counters.
You can see that Crocker's trying to follow that. Take his head.
I think they both vary in the pattern. It's about putting a dent physically.
And he also just leaned forward excessively. I'm sure a part of the strategy was to stand his ground against the more aggressive fighter and not let him take full momentum. But it was far too obvious when he leaned in with his head and even used his shoulders and arms to frame, giving the referee more chances for warnings and to deduct points. And while I do think both men were guilty of it, Donovan was the one that was penalised, getting points taken off in round 6 and 8. If they had gone the full rounds, who knows what could have happened. For the rematch, Donovan has the template in my opinion. I think he should keep moving out to his right using those pivots, looking to catch Crocker with the right hand, while that counter uppercut was also doing a treat, especially when Crocker committed with the overhand left. While I'd also like to see Donovan just mix it up and use a little bit of range between the two. So when he started doing this in round 6, he actually was able to get off fantastic combinations against him, and even made Crocker overreach with his punches, where he was able to counter. While I also just feel he needs to mix up his movement just a little bit. Moving out to his left now and again won't be such a bad thing, especially if Crocker's worked on stopping him moving out to his right. But for me, discipline is everything in this fight. If he cuts out the leaning and manages the distance more cleanly and avoids giving the referee a decision to make, I think his style can completely outmaneuver and outbox Crocker over the 12 rounds. while he's proven he's got the punching power to put him down.
He takes a good shot.
Now let's look at Crocker. And what's clear from the opening bell was that high guard front foot style, designed to march Donovan down. And when he did get into range, it did work at times, as he looked to rip to the body up close and then follow up with the uppercut. And some of these early moments was where the compact power started to shine. He was able to time Donovan when he leaned in and came back with a sharp uppercut or power jab, showing that the high guard could still be a platform for punishing inside counters. Crocker as well also tried to mix levels to catch Donovan off guard,
And even though there's no massive wrestling, that's a devil from Crocker.
as he often tried to look to land that overhand left over the top, often shifting into a southpaw stance before throwing this punch.
These exchanges.
I also feel because Donovan pulled back in that low lead hand shell stance, it also gave Crocker some joy with the stiff jabs and hooks to the head. While if Donovan did try to throw the right hook to the body, Crocker did a good job countering with the hook upstairs. A counter I think he'll need to use in this fight again. However, the successes were too sporadic. Too often Crocker just followed Donovan, turning with him and letting him pivot and turn to his right. Instead of having a little bit of space and cutting the ring, he ended up chasing and being far too close at times. When Donovan flicked a jab or frame with both hands, I feel Crocker often froze, resulting in headhunting rather than trying to systematically break him down. I actually think when he attacked the body early, it was effective, especially because Donovan is quite elusive. I feel the consistent body attacks will just give him more opportunities to land, and it could just drop his guard, giving him an opportunity to land one of those overhand lefts. But maybe it was because of the swelling under Crocker's eye in that fight, what was making him more hesitant to open up, to try reduce the damage to the eye. For me, it's clear there's massive adjustments needed for this rematch. Crocker has to disguise his pressure a bit better than just walking forward, using feints as if he's about to throw, more assertive jabs to the body and the head, while these might just be able to set up the bigger punches that he wants to land. For me, I think he needs to work on that left hook to the body, especially if Donovan's going to continually be moving out to his right. He needs to find ways to stop him moving there, instead of just following and turning with him. So the ring cutting is going to be critical. Instead of marching forward, he needs to take the half steps across Donovan's path and trap him along the ropes and corners, which he managed to do at times. And if he can double down on body investment, including jabs and hooks, he may just be able to slow Donovan's movement and create the openings for the heavier punches upstairs later. But for me, it's a bit more educated pressure. He's got the physicality and punching power to make his mark, but it's whether he's intelligent about it is a different question. The first fight between Crocker and Donovan was still a fascinating clash of styles despite the controversy. Crocker with that front foot high guard pressure, and Donovan with the southpaw rhythm, pivots and quick counters. Both men had stretches of success, but showed their vulnerabilities. But it was clear in my opinion Donovan was in control, and the way the fight was going, it was always going to end in a dramatic finish. Unfortunately, it was overshadowed by the head clashes and of course Donovan hitting Crocker after the bell. It's a shame because obviously he just got the knockdown moments before, but unfortunately just got that little bit too eager to leave his mark. But on September 13th, I'm happy both of these men will get to fight it out for a world title, in front of a stadium of roaring Irish fans. This fight makes the stakes higher and the margins for error even smaller. There can be no leaning, no lapses in discipline, no reliance on the referee's interpretation. Otherwise, it's going to be a short night. If Donovan can stay disciplined while keeping his rhythm and sharp counters, he has the style to frustrate and outbox him. Crocker can cut the ring off and invest to the body early and punish the mistakes of heavier hands. He will have the power to break through if Donovan switches off. Either way, history will be made on September 13th, and hopefully this time there will be no excuses. This has been Jamie from Boxing Life. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the fight. Who do you have winning this rematch? And what adjustments do you think will have to be made? I'd love to know. If you guys want to watch the fight, you can use my link for DAZN in the description below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
That was really late. Crocker down. Disqualified.
He has disqualified Paddy Donovan. penalty here.
The ref took my dreams away tonight. The shot was after the bell. I dropped Lewis, I beat him up, and I was getting a knockout.
Look, that's not the way I want to win a fight.
I've got to be honest with you, I want to